Good morning, everybody. So the world is a pretty crazy place right now. You know, we all went from being locked inside to suddenly it being okay to be in mass groups as long as you're destroying your community under the guise of some kind of protest. And I'm sorry if some people don't see it that way, but man, I had to take yesterday off because I was seeing some of these videos and they were blowing my mind. You know, it's not just the people going into Target, looting there, taking hammers to things. We're gonna do a full video of some of the highlights, but it even made it to Albany County. Thumbs this video up, subscribe and share, by the way, guys. Let's get this one going. So I'm gonna be playing a live stream last night from the Fulton County News, where, I mean, in the streets of Albany, there were fires, there were people just throwing and destroying things everywhere. And here's the thing, I get it. The video's bad, and Derek Chauvin should definitely be charged, and I would believe found guilty based on all the evidence there. People are making this about race. I'm not saying the guy's not a racist. I have no idea. But why aren't people talking about the fact that a city councilwoman went on air, right, and said that they knew each other for 17 years because they worked together at a restaurant together? So all I'm saying is maybe there's a little something more to this. Maybe there's not. Any way you look at it, the injustice system that's oppressed the poor has been there for a very long time. This isn't something new. You know, power corrupts. Cops, police brutality, it's a real thing. Corruption, real thing. Racism, real thing. But why are we destroying our communities because of it? And especially during this time, you know, when they're telling you you can't go to the beach, or you need to social distance, or maybe handshakes are all over, and they don't want you out in the street, you know, protesting the lockdown of your business, but then all this stuff is being promoted by the mainstream media? Why does that make sense? Well, let me tell you why it makes sense. Because the predator class not only loves a divide, but the businesses that have survived in these communities, which aren't as many as you think, right? The businesses that have survived are now being destroyed. And the infrastructure of other businesses around it are being destroyed. And how much do you think these riots are going to cost these cities in the end with damage that are already broke? You know, these protests are happening now in New York, all over the place, not just in Albany, obviously down in the city. There's some really grotesque video of a police car ramming protesters. And again, those protesters weren't destroying things, right? On the flip side of that, when the police are actually targeted, right? And by the way, look how beautiful it is out. Thumbs this video up, guys. I mean, there's some pretty stark realities. I understand most of you, wherever you're watching, it's kind of gorgeous like this out, right? It's just normal, but the media wants you to think that everybody hates one another, that black people hate white people and white people hate black people, and if you're a certain skin tone, you don't get a choice, and it's okay. And, you know, Cuomo will say, you know, I stand with the protesters. Listen, I stand with all protesters, especially when you're protesting police brutality, when you are protesting real bigotry and systemic racism. Sure, that's not destroying a community. And here's the thing. Let's look at these and what amount to riots, right? But then when you have a movement like the Yellow Vests, okay, and the real violence comes when they go to the news agency, right? They go to the news agency building and they say, you know, let's start a fire here. These are the people that lie to us. You don't see that kind of coordination or, you know, even thought process in America, because they haven't identified the predator class that oppresses them from both sides, you know? And now Trump is saying he might use military force to quell these things. Man, that's scary. You know, we went from stay out of your house to it's okay to protest to let the riots run rampant, and now they're all over the place. Like, what else do people want done? I don't get it. You know, they've been arrested. Is this just a powder keg for a long, drawn-out trial where maybe some of these officers get off and Chauvin is, you know, given a slap on the wrist so that there can be riots again later and we can divide people more? You know, again, think about how terrible this is. And, you know, I see people putting up signs in their businesses saying black-owned business, and I get it, because they don't want their business to be destroyed by any means necessary. But again, think about the outrage if it said white-owned business. Or, you know, if someone put up Hispanic-owned business, does that mean they get a pass too because they're a person of a certain color? Again, the people at the top don't care what color your skin is. They don't. They look at you literally like a bug. And the ones they like, you're like a pet. Okay? So when you're destroying your own communities, not because a large number of you lost your pensions, not because you can't see your loved one in a nursing home, not because a bunch of people in nursing homes were basically sentenced to death in this state and others by bungled policies. You're not mad about that. I mean, we're talking about a large death toll there, right? You're not upset that the evidence leads that there was a bioweapon unleashed on society by, again, not a government, but a predator class using government bioweapons programs across nation states. You're not mad that the technopoly is deleting videos of doctors and live protests when they're, you know, they don't delete the riots, okay? They don't delete that. But if you showed people protesting the lockdown, they would delete that. Ask Dan Dix. You know, all those Canadian broadcasts where he was out there with these protesters of the lockdown, those get pulled. Riot footage does not get pulled. Why is that? Think about it. When a media is literally promoting this stuff and stoking the flames of division amongst human beings, you have to ask what's going on. And I mean, there's some crazy stuff out there. I saw John Cusack getting attacked by a bunch of riot cops. All I can say is join the party, pal. But back in the day when the riot police came, in most cases, now don't get me wrong, you got Rodney King all the way back there, race riots have happened in the past. This seems to be some of the most widespread I can remember. But, you know, the militarized police were there when we were protesting the G20 in 2008. And now, you know, they don't cover those type of protests. Trains coming through. And it's sad, man, because again, you look outside and there's a lot of beauty out here, right? I mean, man, it's going to be a gorgeous day. I plan on having a great day with all my brothers and sisters out there. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. Thumbs this video up, by the way, if you're just joining. And we are setting ourselves up for a very bad situation. The more these cities burn, the more in debt they're going to be. We don't know when all these lockdown provisions are ending. We know the economy can't just be built up by, you know, big checks that the Federal Reserve provided, okay? And a lot of these people's jobs, especially in my state, are not going to be here anymore. Let me repeat that. Not going to be here anymore in the next couple months when they start cutting things. So if you want to add destruction, violence, racial division on top of that, man, you're doing a great job. Talk about a great power move for the consolidation of power by the predator class. This is a good one. Because again, this can keep going for a couple of years, right? Because, you know, some people are going to defend the police's actions, and we're going to see this video a million times over. It's going to be a massive psychological operation on the populace, but at the same time, you know, it's an economic one as well. Because the people at the top, they're going to come in, and they're going to take up Main Street. Oh, your business is destroyed. It looks like we're going to buy this building anyway. We don't have to use eminent domain anymore because we just bought it from the owner. You can't rent it to anybody anymore. Yikes. So thumbs this video up, subscribe. I'm going to try to kick out quite a few today, guys. trying to put together another 24 in 24 within the week. Remember, you can support through the GoFundMe. Fully demonetized on this platform. No super chats, no nothing. Still haven't gotten a review of my page. Probably 2+ weeks later. Shocking. Also I want to say is, guys, protests great. Non-violence great. Togetherness great. Division bad. Riots bad. Violence bad. And they're just going to hurt us all in the long run. So let's try to keep our heads about us. And remember, you know, the majority of us are waking up to something like this today. Not, you know, fire in the streets and broken glass. Just a reminder. Love you guys. See you on the flip.